listening to Cain and Randy on Scratch the Vinyl.
Scratch the Vinyl.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Scratch the Vinyl. You guys made it back for another week, and we are so glad that you did. Man, guys, I am amped. I know Randy's amped for this episode. This is going to be a huge episode where we pump up the music scene here in Lincoln. We really dive in and we really talk about what's so important to us. I mean, what live music has done for me as a musician my entire life, and with Randy being a owner of venues and an entertainment man himself, I can't tell you guys how much it has helped us in our lives, and it can continue to give back to you guys. One thing I want to bring up before I bring Randy on is why it's so important. Why is live music, especially at the local level, why is it so darn important? Because, you know, times are hard out there sometimes. Things can be very interesting for people. People need they need a good time. They need a welcome distraction. They need something. They need to just be able to go out, enjoy music, and just enjoy life a little bit. And I think that our guest today is doing a fantastic job of pushing the local scene in that direction. But before we get into that, let's dive into my brother from another mother. I love him so much. He is one of my biggest cheerleaders and one of my best friends. And I can't tell you guys how glad I am to have him on as another host. So, Mr. Chill, the chill man himself, Randy Wilson, welcome back to the show.
Cain, how in the heck are you doing? Because I am pumped up today. I feel like I took my vitamins and I am ready to go.
Well, I feel like the Hulkster, man. I feel like we have been taking our vitamins, saying our prayers, doing whatever, and we are just amped. I mean, we're suplexing people off the top ropes. We're doing it all, Randy. But man, there's a lot of stuff going on as always. One thing I saw, Randy, I mean, this is a vinyl show, and why not flex? Why not talk about vinyl for a second? I was just at Backtrack Records last week, thumbing through those bins like always. And man, I picked up some freaking gold. I picked up McCartney 3. I picked up John Lennon Rock and Roll. I picked up Elvin Bishop. I got a Red Clay Strays album. I mean, I've been amped and playing my guitar to these albums nonstop, dude. And what's weird, Randy, is that vinyl sales, it's not really weird to us, but vinyl sales now just hit the billions point, everybody. They just released the revenue from last year, and it's been a 19-year climb, but the vinyl sales have now eclipsed the billions, and that feels pretty good, doesn't it, Randy?
I mean, since 1983, vinyl sales have not been this high. That just proves our point every week that our love for vinyl is still there. In an age when everything's digital and it's got to be perfect, we like the perfect imperfectness of that needle scratching on the vinyl.
Yeah, we want that physical copy in our hands. Like, I can't tell you guys, Randy's seen it. Like, he has seen me in the candy store buying records, and he has seen the joy on my face when I thumb through Conway Twitty's 8th album, and and it's the one I don't have. So he knows what it's like. It feels fantastic to have that physical copy.
Well, it's when you have those puppy dog eyes, you're looking at me like, Randy, my wife only gave me $10 for today, and you're in the dollar bin and you got 12 albums in your hand. I'm like, yes, Cain, here's $2.
I need an album allowance. You know what I mean? Like, a fun thing that I've been doing recently is my kids. I finally have won as a parent. My kids have now taken on my musical taste fully, and they've embraced it. My son has alarmed me that his favorite band is now Nirvana. My daughter's favorite band is Deftones. Well, who do I know who listens to those religiously and plays them on his guitar all the time? Oh, wait, it's me. I finally did it, man. I've got my kids locked in, and now they're wanting the records. They're wanting the copies, and it's a vicious cycle.
Well, I'm very proud of you. We all want to be the cool dad once in our lives, and maybe you finally achieve that status.
I hope so. One thing that's kind of cool about this album thing is I read that we need to thank our friend Taylor Swift and I'm going to tell you why. Our good bud Taylor Swift. I'm sure she'll be on the show. I'm sure she's listening right now. Taylor, thank you for the Life of a Showgirl sold what was it, 1.6 million copies just on vinyl alone. That's insane, man. So we got to thank our good buddy Taylor for that.
I like how you've gone after the Swifties to boost our followership.
No more am I gonna say, man, I just don't. I mean, I will be authentic and I'll say I'm just gonna say this to you, Swifties. I'm gonna it's like a I don't know, like a reverse good sandwich or something. I don't know. But I like Taylor Swift. David's gonna slap me next time he sees me, David Raby. I like Swifties. I like Taylor Swift, but it's just not for me. I listen to it all I've listened to them all the way through the albums. It's not for me, Randy. I just don't understand it. But I do get why people are so into it. Like it's just not my thing.
Well, we just grew up differently and we have different tastes. We can appreciate what she does without necessarily liking everything she puts out. So don't be so hard on yourself.
Well, I can only imagine like my grandma's distaste when I would roll in with like a Slipknot t-shirt and my shorts were cut off like right by my ankles and I looked like a little goth weirdo back in 2000. So I imagine it's kind of the same thing in a different way. Maybe they didn't get it. Grandma was doing the Charleston or whatever they did. But but that's kind of how I feel. Maybe I'm just getting old, Randy, and I just don't understand. And I'm just holding on to like the nostalgia and all the great music that came out. I don't know.
I thought you were talking about me for a minute.
No, I'm getting old. You're definitely you're definitely senior to me, Randy. But I feel like for a guy that's in his 40s, man, I feel like I'm about 70 most times.
Oh man, you have no idea. You don't know what's yet to come. Let me tell you. I'm not trying to be hard on you, but I tell you what, I want to bring up something that, because we have a lot of people that have listened to the show and have followed us these last couple of years, one of our favorite Lincoln based bands, the Prids, who are now in Portland, Oregon, you know, put out constant music over the last 20 plus years. Um, Frontman David Fredrickson was in the hospital. Um, Third worst case of sepsis. Not wasn't doing very well, and is now pulling through. And I just want to give a big shout out for his recovery. Thank Miss Stina for keeping us informed on what's going on. And if you guys get a chance, go to our page and check out the GoFundMe for David. What a great musician! Check out their music. We wish him nothing but the best and well recovery.
Well, and it stands to say that David is a musician through and through. He's a self contractor. You know what I mean? He's that's how he makes his money doing that type of stuff. He may do other stuff on the side, but times are going to be hard for him. You referenced the third worst case. I think that was his sister, whoever posted the GoFundMe, had said that the doctor that had operated on him had said something about it was like the third worst case he's ever seen of like the sepsis or whatever he had going on. Um, and that's pretty wild. So prayers for David. Guys, if you guys can help, even if it's a dime or well wishes, anything helps everybody. It doesn't have to be monetary. It can be good messages. It can be anything, but let's go ahead and hope for the best on David and just hope Godspeed for a good recovery. So I thank you, Randy, for bringing that up. I think that's so important. The Prids are a viable uh, source of so many great things, and they are just as big in Nebraska history, I feel, in the music scene as anything. So, and they're family. Anybody who's on this show is family. So, uh, now everybody, let's do it. I mean, let's get into it right now. I mean, I am jazzed about our guest. I can't wait to have him on. This has kind of been a culmination of many things. It's almost like the universe, Randy, is working in our favor and it's working in Lincoln's favor for the music scene. Why do we do this show? because we want to pump up the local music scene. We do it because when I was a musician all these years, I would have killed for a show like this to pump up the scene, get to know the musicians, talk to the players, involve the people in the venues, the people that are actually putting on all of this stuff. And we have another great guest on our hands. So let's bring him on right now. We have Todd Ogden. Todd is president and CEO of the Development Association for Downtown, correct, Todd?
Yes, Downtown Lincoln Association.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, it's so great to have you on. I can't wait to talk to you about the music scene and the music district, and in particular, also like MBX or Music Box, depending on how you look at it and how big this is going to be. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Downtown's hopping. We're going to get better weather here in the next couple days. We've had a lot of stuff happen in March, so I just love an active downtown. So I'm feeling good about it.
So, I got to ask you right off the bat. I mean, when we saw that the Music Box was going to go down and everything, and then everything took place, we really didn't know what it was. Like we knew that something big was happening. Well, then we had Scott Scholes from the Poly Music Library on, and I got together with him and asked him, who can I talk to? Who can I get a hold of that knows something about all this? And he gave me your contact. So I'm so glad that we connected, and I can't wait to introduce to our audiences why this is so important. But the first question I want to dive in on you with is, where did you guys get the idea for this type of thing? I mean, where was it in other cities? Did you guys read like case studies on it? How did you guys figure out that this was something that we needed?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do the quick history version, but for me, I've been in this organization for 20 years now, and music became the very first thing that I felt was something that downtown Lincoln needed to lean on. It differentiated ourselves. It was special. It is special. And wanted to figure out different ways to highlight it. So one of the first things I did was I met with Jeremy Buckley at the time, actually, and said, "Hey, let's sponsor Lincoln Calling. Let's help make sure that continues to be a good festival." Went to a lot of those venues. I'm born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska. Unlike you two, I'm a Lincoln East guy, so we've got 3 Lincoln schools here. But it's always went downtown. So I've always had a soft spot in my heart for what music means from a downtown development standpoint. I'm an urban strategist. When we deal with that stuff, you talk about it, and this always rises to the top. And fast forward to 2018, we did a downtown Lincoln master plan, and that master plan called out 5 or 6 different kind of catalyst projects, whether it be a lot of this is happening now, whether it be the library or our entryway corridor, which I want to talk about a little bit because it reflects on here too, a convention center, and this thing called this music district concept. And after we released it, everybody's like, "This is awesome. What is it?" So it's like they knew they liked it, but like, what do you like about it? It's because inherently we know we've cultivated this scene over the years, ever since Larry Boehmer got that jukebox in the Zoo Bar and said, "Hey, we're going to play some blues up in here." And ever since then, that kind of lore has grown on 14th, now Beamer Street. And we have, 5 or 6, we've got Duffy's, we've got bodegas, bourbon, Rococo, 1867. And a lot of this live music's going on. And what do we do about it? Because how do we make it a thing? And I think my goal was to be like, okay, we have a lot of cool places in this area, but what I want is a destination district, which that means I want people to either walk here, bike here, park here, and know I'm here, something's going on. I don't need to I'm not just going here. Of course, we want people to go to the latest Zoo Bar show or the Bourbon or Duffy show when those are going on, but we also want people just, hey, I'm going to go to the district and something's going on. We need that. We need the general audience to support these musicians, to support these venues, so we can have that active scene. So really it was about cultivating that. And I worked closely with the mayor, and the city actually bought this Eagle garage. It's just down the street from my office, and it's across the street from Scott's Bennett Martin Library. And they put the American Job Center in it, and then they had this extra like blank space for like 2,500 square feet. And Mayor said, I asked her, I said, hey, can we use this for music district? She said, hell yeah, let's do it. And so the city gave me a blank canvas, and we started asking people what they wanted. I didn't know what they wanted. It was like, hey, this is an once in a lifetime opportunity. Let's figure out what we need to do. I met with musicians. I met with music owners. I met with bar owners, producers, technicians, and Leadership Lincoln hosted kind of a roundtable for us. And I heard kind of two major things out of that. I heard we need an incubator. We need practice space. Hey, I have a band. I don't have a really good place to practice. Whether it's a younger band and their parents are like, get the heck out of my house, you can't do it here. Or whether it's kind of a band, which I've found really cool here. We have bands that are, I won't say older, I'll say more experienced, that are experienced in age, that they kind of messed around for a while, but now 20 years later, like, hey, let's start jamming out again. Our wives kicked us out of the house from playing. Let's go to the music box and practice. And we're seeing that too. So we heard they wanted that. And then there was, and you two know, I mean, the history of kind of all ages venues too. We heard that everybody wanted an all ages venue. So there were those two things in the incubator. And for us, it was really figuring out, okay, how do we balance that? Because at the same time, I received an ARPA grant through COVID, which originally it was going to allow me to put money into private venues, which I loved, but then the feds took that away from me and I could only use it for public space. So this music box, which became the music box, became that public space. And so I had funds to build it out. But I'm cognizant of, we still have to support our current venues. So I don't want to be something that competes with them necessarily. And that's something we're going to have to continue to figure out how to make sure we're doing it the right way. But the primary focus needs to be that incubation process. And so from there, it just grew. And along the way, we had people kind of become really good advisors for us. And I want to shout out Philip Zock and Zach Watkins. Philip Zock is now running the music box for me, and with help with Zach too. And Philip owns the Grid Studio. Zach Watkins is a longtime band member, and he went to Lincoln High, and he's always been a part of the scene. And he was a big advisor for, hey, how do we build this out? Zach has IC Melody, so he has youth that he has such a powerful video where the first time he brought them to the music box and they performed something there and how special it felt, and they recorded something, and it's just been awesome. So that's my quick version. I'll kind of shut up for a second here because I want to go back and forth, of course, but that kind of leaves the stage where we're at. So there's a lot of infill that I want to talk about, but that's how the music box came to be. It's like, hey, we've got this cool space. Let's try to do it right. I'm not in that industry. Again, I'm in the placemaking industry. I'm trying to build a downtown, and I want this place. And again, I'll talk about these other initiatives. Music Box is just the first initiative we did. We have a lot of other stuff going on that I want to talk about as well, but I'll kind of leave it to you to catch up here for a second.
Wow, that's awesome. I'll tell you, for somebody who spent a lot of time in promoting downtown, I just love hearing everything you said, especially when you try to develop something like this, and you brought up all ages, is the only way anything ever grows long term is grassroots. And if you don't get young people involved, it almost never lasts and never goes very long. And so just that alone, realizing that you have to provide these spaces to develop these young kids, to really give them true opportunities for the future. And that's just my quick 2 cents. How about you, Cain?
Well, I can think of why, to me as a musician, this is so important because, well, and also let me preface by saying a musician who played out a lot and how hard it is to learn the live performance game and really get yourself out there. But even further back than that is like being a young musician and trying to figure out like, how the heck do I make these sounds? How, not necessarily teaching you how to play, that's a whole different thing, but how do I zero in on, like, if I want to record something, like what's the recording process like? Or I think maybe I'm talking out of turn or maybe I'm not, but from what I've read into it, Todd, that's all part of it too, right? I mean, there are parts of this. It's not just a venue for people to play or to practice. There's so much more to this, isn't there?
Absolutely. So there's kind of three major things that we've set up for the Music Box to incubate, really. And the first one is you can be just a regular member. So for $240 a year, you get 16 hours of space a month, and you can reserve that time. Once you get trained, you get to be there on your own, and you can bring your band in. You can, most of what we have right now, we have about 71 members, and about 10 hours a day, people are using that space. So I'm like overwhelmed. Philip and Zach told me if we built it, people will come. I didn't believe them to this extent. Like, we haven't done any. Again, I'm just trying to gradually, from a grassroots level, just see how this grows. And there's just been so much interest. Like, these bands that come in don't believe that it actually exists. Like, oh wait, I thought I thought you were just making this up. Like, we need this. So for me, not being in the industry and hearing that, I was like, okay, good. I'm glad I trusted the right people that said, oh, we do need this, because it's been shown. Like, these bands are awesome, and they're all over the place too. Because I think there's a lot of sentiment that it's just younger bands. But again, there's bands everywhere, whether they're older, younger, experienced, inexperienced. They need this space for a different reason. Or again, most of what I'm surprised they're using that. So I'd say right now about 70 to 80% of the time is used for recording. So we have a recording studio in there, and they're using to record their stuff, which is awesome. And again, we're gonna get a walkthrough, and we need to get a live show over the Music Box to show you the space and show everything that's going on there. But that's so key. So we've got the band starting to come in. That's step one. So, okay, cool. We're showing the music community that, hey, we have a space for you that you can grow, hone in your craft. Part of that actually too is right now we have a policy. Every band gets 4 performances that they can put on. It's not a huge space. Like, most of the space is actually for the musician, not the audience. The stage is huge. The audience, we can only fit like 50 to 70 people in there technically. But we still want to be able to, as they hone their craft, to do that. Of course, I want to work with the venues to make sure I don't want to overstep our bounds where we're taking audience away from them. But again, I think if we can continue to grow and do this the right way, we're going to have especially newer musicians learn how to build a crowd, so then they can graduate and go to Duffy's and then 1867 and then Bourbon and fill out Bourbon and then freaking let's go to the arena. Like, that's how I want it to grow. Like, it's been amazing to see that. So that's the first step. The second step is what's called the MBX Academy. So Philip Zock is running that. And we're looking to kind of build that academy where it's a training program where they're going to educate musicians on how to do whether it be the technician side and the sound and lights, the recording, to be a band, kind of the business as a band level as well. And that is going to be a 6 to 8 week program, I believe. And you're going to have Philip on. He'll be able to talk with you all about this stuff. Like, he's a wealth of knowledge with all of that. But I'm excited about it because it does more of that incubation. It grows people in the district and makes them come downtown to be a part of that and grow from there. And so that kind of hones the craft. And then the third step is we're going to announce this soon, but we're going to launch our artist development program. And what that is our goal is to develop at least 4 artists a year, and they'll go through this program. And by the time they're done with it, they will have a minimum 4-song EP recorded songs. So we're going to have 4 recording artists a year. In 5 years, we're going to have 20 local artists that are produced. It's going to be huge. So we're trying to figure out how do we raise money for scholarships for people. We've got it to a level where if we can get about $15,000, that for every $15,000, that gives us 1 scholarship for an artist development. And we're going to announce here soon that actually, I can't say who yet, but a nationally known band found out about the Music Box in this program where they donated the first scholarship to launch this artist development program. So it's really cool that it's getting national attention from national musicians. And that's what I wanted. I wanted this to be an indicator that we care about our musicians in this district. It's not just about, oh, we want your money, we want you to spend your money downtown. No, we want this to be a place not only where the audience can feel like they're a part of something special, but for the people creating their craft feel like it's something special. So that's right now how we're kind of utilizing that space. And again, it's organically grown to 70 bands right now and members, and they're using it for so much different stuff. It's so cool to see, and it just gets me really amped for the future of this scene.
Out in the wild, there's one creature feared by hunters, admired by lumberjacks, and envied by hipsters.
Yeah, it's me, the elegant Sasquatch, and let me tell you, these locks don't tame themselves.
Introducing the Elegant Sasquatch Grooming Company. Beard oils, butters, and washes so good, they'll make your face smell like you wrestled a cedar tree while sipping fine whiskey.
Last week, a hiker followed me for 3 miles just to ask what cologne I was wearing. Joke's on him, I don't wear cologne. I wear the Gentleman.
Upgrade your beard game. Sophisticate your outer beast. Find the Elegant Sasquatch Grooming Company at elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com.
And stop stealing my jerky!
First off, we've been talking to so many of these young local bands lately, and we're excited because they seem to be so vibrant right now. I tell you what, like me and Cain have tapped into so much different new music, and these guys just blow us away. And they've brought up having a place to record, having a real place to develop is like unbelievable. Like that's probably and what you said with the cost, like that's nothing compared to renting out a professional studio and having someone like that's nothing. And to really develop that right here in Lincoln, it just proves our point of the show is we have a ton of talent here in Lincoln, and all you're really doing is providing the actual tools for these guys to blow up. I don't know what's more exciting than that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting. Again, the way it's set up is my organization, the Downtown Lincoln Association, is a nonprofit that runs the space. So again, everything I do, we just have to make sure I can keep the doors open and I make enough to keep it going so that the $240 pays for our utilities. And right now everybody's like, we can pay more. It's like, we don't really want to do that. We want to make sure this is open access to everybody. And we're going to have to figure it out too, because it's starting to get pretty dang full. So I don't know what the cap of members is going to be, but that'll be a great indicator. Do we need to grow more of this? Like, is there more more recording space? And actually, Philip and I have talked about, we might have space in that garage that we can build more recording studios, so that can free up space for more of the rehearsal band studios to be able to be there at the same time. So that growth is coming. So I believe it. I believed it before, but I really believe it now. No, we have the talent. We have the energy. Let's just form that here. I don't want them to leave. Philip says this all the time. Like, I don't want people to have to leave to become a professional musician, or even leave just because they want to jam out with their buddies. Like, no, we can do that here, and we're going to do it the right way.
Cain, can you imagine having a place where you could perform to where the other bar owners and music venues could actually come and check you out ahead of time and then go, yeah, we need that band at our place. And you automatically get booked now because you actually have a true venue to show your skills?
Well, my mind is floored by this because I'm talking as a young musician, we were gutting it out at house shows. Okay. We were playing out at the best stereo that somebody's dad had for practice. We were meeting in the garage. We were playing anywhere that we could and just trying to clap our hands, stomp our feet, and get people's attention. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like if we could play at a place where venue owners and people could come check it out as kind of like a showcase or any of this type of stuff. I mean, all of this is so vital. But what I thought, what Todd was saying was so important is this is how you build a scene. Are you guys paying attention out there, Lincoln musicians and people? Are you paying attention at all to this episode and what we have been saying forever, which is we have an amazing scene here in town. And I'm so tired of hearing And this is not to be negative. I don't want to add negative to such a positive, but I'm so tired of hearing people say, "Oh man, there's no scene, there's nowhere to play, there's nothing to do." You guys couldn't be more wrong. There are so many, there's everywhere to play, there's everything to do. You just have to have the motivation. Now you have the tools provided by the city of Lincoln, right? And for a very small fee that you could put together with your band or whatever, you guys could become members of this place. And I think it was Bleeding Horizon. I think they were the ones possibly talking about, them being members or whatever. And it's
Yep, they're
just,
members.
yeah, it's an exciting thing. And this young talent, these guys are all so freaking talented, and just think that now they have all these tools at their disposal where they can learn how to record, they can play, they can do everything. It's just one step closer. And I'm going to say this, I think Lincoln is very close to having a music district. I'm not going to say like Memphis or Nashville, but Randy and I like to shoot high. Randy and I are dreamers who like to make things reality. And I don't think we're that far off, everybody. I think Lincoln could be on the cusp because people already know about the Zoo Bar all over the world, but Lincoln could be on the cusp of being a music destination. And I don't think that we're too far out there for saying that. Do you, Todd?
No, that's my goal. We're going to be a nationally known destination. And that's a good segue. And I want to talk about kind of the other programs. I mean, first and foremost, it's like you can't have a district. Like everybody talked about music district. That never felt right. You can have a music district anywhere. What you can't have anywhere is Boehmer Street. Like that was something that we were really conscientious. I wanted this to feel organic and grow the right way. So we actually worked with like Arch Rival, a local ad agency here who do amazing things. And they reached out to the Zoo Bar a lot. I mean, they've since have created, you can see on our BoehmerStreet.com website, this kind of really cool narrative of how it grew and the lore of Larry Boehmer. And it started because of him. And of course, he represents not just Larry Boehmer, but represents Jen Ludwig, who owned the bar, and Pete Waters, and then Scott Hatfield. Now the next gen with like Josh Hoyer, Mike Semrat. Like there's so much going on that Boehmer Street is how we're going to push this district. And it's not just one street. Like this area is what, when you hear Boehmer Street, I want people to know that I'm going to come to this general area and I'm going to be a part of Boehmer Street. And I know something cool is going on and I want to be a part of it. So part of that is the Boehmer Street. And we want to continue to push that and continue to show what live music's going on. Another part of that is the actual physical structure of the street and the area. So our master plan also called out an entryway corridor. We have not done something on O Street for a long time when it comes to infrastructure. We're about ready to go through our most expensive infrastructure enhancement on O Street or in the city in 50 years. Like $100 million project, multi-million dollar project that's going to redo the streetscape for O Street, and then also 14th Street now being honorary Boehmer Street, 11th Street. And it's going to make it much more pedestrian friendly. Boehmer Street's going to have overhead lighting down the street, which is going to be really cool. It's going to be much more walkable. When you close it for Zoo Fest, it's going to be a lot easier to close the street. You're going to have kind of that level playing field. There's going to be better seating, movable amenities, benching. So I'm really excited about that. That construction is going to start here in the next couple months. That's going to suck. But once it's done, it's going to be awesome. So I got a lot of work to do to try to make sure people still come downtown during that construction and especially go to these music venues during that. So we're going to have to get support during that time. But once that's done here by the end of 2026, especially in the Boehmer Street area, not only are we going to, the street will give what the businesses deserve. The businesses deserve this kind of street. So it's kind of like reverse gentrification. No, like we have the awesome businesses. We're not trying to like build this shiny new thing and hope people come. No, they're here. Like what we have now works. And if more grows, that's great. But like this street's going to be awesome. And that's going to go down 14th Street. That includes kind of the Music Box Street. The library is moving to the Centrum. So that's going to be a new redevelopment that I want to also have a piece of it focus on music development as well, which would be really cool. So there's momentum going there. And then the convention center is slated to go 2 blocks south of that. So imagine this: when all of these visitors, Monday through Friday, even, we're not just going to have nights and weekends. Then they're going to pop out, and you can kind of design it in a way where you could look down that street. You can have a stage on the convention center and look down the street and see all of this Boehmer Street activity going on. Like, that's going to also add to the crowd as well. We're going to have true visitors. Like, that's the first thing they're going to see is Boehmer Street when they come out on that convention center. So we're working hard to get that done. And so that's kind of the physical and developmental structure that I have that I feel like is going to help continue to build this district. And again, I'll always mention, like, at the same time, we just have to make sure that we take care of the venues and the businesses that exist as well, and make sure they continue to thrive.
Wow, that is a bomb drop, everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
the talk about unveiling, so many great plans going on. I mean, what you just did, Todd, was this is like a exclusive to a lot of people. I mean, to our listeners especially. I certainly had no idea that you guys had these massive plans in progress. But wow, that's huge. I mean, Randy, chime in here. I mean, you were a business owner and you were a bar owner downtown. I mean, how huge would this have been, and how big is this for downtown?
He's pissed at me. What took you so long, Todd?
Well, first off, I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a little too late for this, Mark. But one of the sole reasons I even do this show, or why we even started this show, was the further I got away from my time downtown and promoting, is I just found out how much I missed it, and how much that I could still have a small impact at getting people to shows. And it's funny when people would say to me, "Oh, Randy, you got such a good following, you get people to shows." And I'm like, yeah, but it's not me. It's the entertainment's great. You just got to get there and see it, and you realize it's well worth whatever, $5, $10, whatever you paid, doesn't matter. And like, this just gives me a shot of energy like no other, just to know that we're in good hands, that actually Lincoln is being forward thinking for a change in some ways. And I'll say this: look, Nebraska people, our area people, like, I'm going to use Nebraska sports as an example. We connect to our community. We support things that are positive about our community. And as much as we support sports, every single one of those people love music. And this is not a far-fetched thing to get people excited and will be motivated and support this kind of stuff. Like, it's just going to make us look bigger and better in the grand scheme of growing Lincoln as a future big city. And I love it.
Well, Todd, I do want to kind of shift gears here for a second, only because this is a music show, and I want to know about you. You seem to be dialed in, and you seem to care about music. But tell us why. Give us your journey in music, and why do you like music? Why are you so dialed into it? And we also want to know: do you have a collection? Do you have a collection of vinyl or cassettes or anything sitting around?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be really boring when it comes to this, but I've just been a listener my whole life. And my friends always said, they didn't say I have an old soul, I have an ancient soul. So I'm like 50s, 60s, 70s, folk, roots, blues. Like, I grew up on that. So that's my collection right there. Is, I've got some vinyl, Cat Stevens and BB King, Sam Cooke, Dylan, of course. Like, just that's what always moved me. So when I got to college and I first started coming downtown more, and you hear these local bands and they sound like these people that I grew up listening to, when I'm used to hearing on the radio kind of stuff that I wasn't into 2000s pop. I just wasn't. Like, when I heard that, and it opened my eyes toward, oh, this, like, Lincoln has talent too. Like, it's crazy. So feeling that was really important to me. And again, like, I fell in love with downtown the first day I got the job here and wanted to grow. And you can just see, you could feel it with that, especially somebody that didn't have like a biased background toward being a musician or anything like that. But you could feel the energy that came from music. And for me, you could feel how it created a positive. When I work downtown, of course, there's a lot of negatives that I have to figure out. How do I help people get a positive perception of downtown if they're focused on other things that may not be so positive. And music is one of those. So that's where my passion came from, is seeing that energy and what it means to the growth of our downtown.
Well, I think you're shifting gears because I can remember growing up as a kid, you know, in the 80s and 90s, and the perception of downtown would be like what I heard from my parents, like downtown is a bar crawl. You know what I mean? Like that was the perception then. I think what you guys are doing now is you're shifting gears and you're really showing people, you're doubling down on something that's so important, not just because we're a music show, not just because I'm a musician, is that you're dialing into something and you're saying we are so much more than that down here. We have so many great things. We have a historic downtown for one, with so many cool things. We have an amazing campus, and we have now a music hub. We'll say, you know, it's not just a district; it's a hub. It's a whole thing. I mean, they're creating vibes for for maybe centuries to come. Everybody, so I just think that's awesome. I love your answer to the music question of what you said. But did you ever did you ever play any instruments as a kid? Are you musical yourself? I mean, are you a shower singer? What is it about you, man?
I sang in high school. I never played an instrument. I've always wanted to play the piano. So over the last 5 years, I've just been trying to teach myself. At some point, I'm going to do that. But again, I'm boring when it comes from that. Like, I just love listening to music, and my wife's the same way. Like, she knows, like, she grew up on a lot of similar music. She knows every band that's ever existed, every song. Like, we can't go anywhere if music's not on in our house. It drives us nuts. Like, it's just always a part of our life, which is a good segue into one thing I really want. And if the time, I want to talk about our next initiatives we're doing. I'm really excited about this next initiative because I had some funds in my grant left to create what's going to be a speaker program on Boehmer Street. So up 14th and down O Street a little bit, we're going to have speakers under all the awnings, and it's going to have at all times a playlist of local musicians. So when you're in Boehmer Street, you're going to hear local music. So we're working on that. I've actually worked with like Mike Sembrad, for example, Noisel. So him and I have talked about that already, and he might have done the heavy lifting for me. Maybe we just work with Noisel to launch that, because I always knew I've never heard of this being anywhere. You know, of course you can go to districts, even like Norfolk, for example, did a tour there. They have cool speakers down the street, but they're playing a regular Pandora playlist or whatever. I've never heard of anybody that has kind of a local music playlist. It's like, that's what we have to do here. I don't know what the complications are, but we're going to figure out how to get it done. And so Mike's been super helpful to help figure that out. And I have the speakers purchased. We're getting the install here ready over the next month or two. And then it's about making sure we get the playlist set up, and then highlight the musicians that are there. And where are we going to highlight them other than the music box? We're going to highlight them at our next project, which is the University Square garage across the street from the Zoo Bar. We are going to turn that into the Garage of Music History. So it's going to be a destination garage. So my goal is, when you go to the district, you don't even have to think about parking. I'm going to go to the top floor of that garage. My second hour is going to be free. You already have first hour free. You're going to walk out. You're going to hear music up in the top floor of that garage. You're going to see posters of every event that's ever existed in downtown Lincoln. There's going to be an interactive kiosk in the elevator. You're going to get down on the first floor, and underneath that area, the city's going to help us redo that. So we're going to have kind of unique light and sound to make an experience. We even have this like floor piano that people can step on that's like outdoor driven a little bit. And then I want to work with Mike in the Hall of Fame and people to we're going to have music history, talk about the Boehmer Street lore, talk about musicians, or have musicians of the month. And that's going to enter you into the district. And then also talk about this playlist. So I'm really excited to launch the speaker program and then upgrade that next garage. And that garage will be upgraded during the O Street and 14th Street construction. So by the time that's done, this garage will hopefully also be done. So again, we'll not only have new streets, but we'll also have this true destination garage where, again, I hear every day, oh, it's hard to park downtown. I don't know, like, you're never going to 100% rely on a meter. Well, meters exist because there's too many people downtown, which I love. Like if we didn't have a parking problem, we'd have a bigger problem downtown. So let's get them into the garage on the top floor where we have a lot of space, and they could be on any floor, but that's where I want to create it. So it's like, I'm not even thinking about where I'm going to park when I'm going to Boehmer Street. I'm going to go up there. My experience starts right there. And I'm going to walk out and I'm going to hear music. And then I'm going to go into these venues and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. We're going to have busker zones in the street. So kind of curated buskers in the area on afternoons and things like that. So there's just a lot of stuff we're going to continue to work toward. And I'm just super excited about it. And again, a good segue from my wife and I always have to have music on. So if I'm in a district, I better be hearing music because then I'm not in a music district.
Well, I want to point out that we didn't prompt Todd to promote one of our sponsors, but we're so big on Noisel, Nebraska with Mike Simrad. And let me tell you what, like just the idea that our local artists have an avenue to stream their real music and possibly get paid for it and to just develop our local scene. All of this is just exciting and unbelievable. And Todd, before I mean, time flies.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, it's been an absolute pleasure to get a chance to sit down and talk with you about this and filling us in and letting our listeners hear what's really happening here in Lincoln. Man, I can't thank you enough. Seriously.
No, I can't thank you guys enough. Like this energy is what keeps me going to it. Sometimes, again, I always live with, I want to do this the right way. The hardest thing is doing this without upsetting kind of the people that have been here for a long time. So I have to make sure that I'm doing right by Pete and Josh and Scott at all these places. But at the same time, like, how do you continue to grow and have more audience and musicians there? So that's something that I'm going to lean on. And like I said, we got to get you in the music box. We got to do a live show there. We got to get you in touch with Philip and Zach, who have really can talk more about some of the stuff we touched on. And then we also have this really cool Discord channel that we created with the music box that I want to invite you to as well, because we just have kind of a general channel for anybody interested in music. And it's like building this really cool scene already. Like people are like, oh, my drummer's not here today. Can somebody else fill in? And they're filling in, or I have the show. So this community is built so fast too. And I got to make sure you two are part of that community as well on that Discord channel, because it's growing really fast as well, which is cool.
Absolutely. And Cain, listen, Todd said it, live show walkthrough at the music box.
Yes.
That's going to happen.
Man, this is so exciting, Randy. And now I got to say something to you. I'm going to challenge you, Randy. There's no more excuses for you not getting that album out there. Okay. Now you have all these things at your disposal. So now we're going to get that amazing Randy Wilson vinyl album. It's coming, everybody. It's coming to us.
Let's get it done.
Cain knows I've been working on, I don't know, I've written about 20 songs now, and with maybe 5 okay good ones and maybe 1 or 2 that I think are really good. And I've been wanting to get some guys together to perform them and put them on vinyl and just kind of have a permanent, I want to be buried with it. Like give me something that I created that I want to keep and just have a little touch in the music industry. I'll never be a performing artist anymore. I want to promote other people. And if some of my songs could help anybody, I would just love to do it.
Well, not to give another spoiler, but Jack White has this kind of vinyl record creator at one of his areas, and Philip and I are looking to get one of those as well. So when you come to the music box, we want it to be kind of a visitor destination too. So when you come in, you can get your own like visitor vinyl, whether you're an experienced musician coming in and wanting to do that there, or somebody that's just like, hey, let's put something and get it on vinyl. So we're trying to get our hands on one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, my mouth. Did you see my mouth visibly open and the drool fall out because I couldn't get? Man, that's so crazy. Like, I mean,
I feel like Todd Santa Claus today.
Yeah.
What?
He's like the Lincoln Oprah, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he's got
You get a
something-
record. You get a record. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
man.
exciting. Yeah.
It's
There's a
very
lot of fun
exciting.
stuff. Just keep giving us ideas and we'll figure out how to get it done. That's what we try to do downtown. So keep it coming. Keep your enthusiasm. I love it.
Todd, thanks for coming on the show today. I know we'll have you back many times. Thanks for giving us the insight. We'll definitely talk to those other guys and give more details on what's happening down there. And man, thank you so much.
Yeah, stay in touch. Call, text anytime. Let's keep up. You know, I really need you guys to keep doing what you're doing because you don't know how much this is helping kind of grow the area. Maybe you do, but if you don't, you should. Like it's awesome.
We appreciate that.
Man, well, there you go, Lincolnites and Nebraskans everywhere. I mean, if this doesn't get something pumping in your veins, I mean, I might have to come over and check your pulse. So I just got to say, I'm amped. Thank you so much for being on the show, Todd. And for all of you scratchaholics out there, scratching away, Scratchamania's running wild. And we need you guys to come back here every week. Catch us on the flip side here on
Scratch the Vinyl. Scratch the Vinyl.